The PCV valve we'll be replacing is relatively easy to get to, but will require you to figure out how to use the tools you have in a tight space, or you can use the tools that I used, which will be linked to in the video description, along with the replacement PCV valve. Also, while these instructions may be the same for more Subaru models, this FB20D engine in the Crosstrek and Impreza has a PCV valve with a blue ring, which is a different part number than the ones without the blue ring. I believe this is a different pressure rating, but I have not been able to confirm this. Lastly, I will also link to the technical service bulletins for this part. There are at least 3 separate TSBs for the PCV valve alone, and there may be expensive risk involved in replacing it. Yes, it is saying damaged threads will require a short block replacement. The new valve design is also going to have a smaller hose connection point, so if you have the old style valve, you will have to get a replacement PCV valve hose too. Subaru offers this as a kit. To get to the PCV valve, you may need to remove the air intake tubing for better access. I'm doing it to give you better footage of the replacement, but you might be able to get away with keeping the intake in place. To remove the intake tubing, disconnect this plug, which is for the mass airflow sensor. Loosen the screw-style hose clamp at the end of the tube and disconnect the airbox clamps. If your car has a trim clip still present here, remove it. As you start to get the assembly out, you will get better access to the final connection, this vacuum hose that will have a self-tension style hose clamp holding it on. Squeeze the ends together and slide it back along the hose. It should stay there during the repair process. Once you twist the hose off, you can move the intake tube assembly somewhere safe and out of your way. To locate the PCV valve, you can follow its hose from under the intake manifold near the throttle body down to its location on the engine block, on the air filter's side of the engine. Both of the valves I had, the one going in and the one coming out, required a deep wall 19mm socket, but aftermarket parts and old designs may cause this size to vary. A strong magnet attached to that socket may help you keep the valve in the socket when you pull it out, but I didn't use one. I did use some penetrating fluid. While this PCV valve looks pretty clean, it can be in there pretty tight, and you're going to have an exceptionally bad day if you crack the block. Also, clear any debris away from the PCV valve so that nothing falls into the hole once you remove the valve. The most specialized tool I'm using today comes into play now. This compound hose gripping tool allows me to reach down to the lowest part of the PCV valve hose while the hand I'm holding it with isn't bumping into stuff. But even with this tool, there is still limited room to work. I switch from pulling on the hose to pulling up on the base of the hose once there's room to get my tool there. Eventually it will work its way off, and if you're keeping the hose, you can just move it to the side instead of taking it completely off at the intake manifold too. I assembled my tool as socket, swivel, extension, ratchet. The extension was about 10 inches, but anything from 9 to 12 inches should work for you, depending on the combined size of your socket and swivel. While that swivel section is vital, it does mean you'll probably have to guide the socket in. These valves can be stuck in there pretty tight, so I put both loosening and tightening force on it to help work the penetrating fluid in as much as possible before having a go at breaking it completely loose. While doing this, it will start out feeling like it's staying the same, but gradually it will begin to loosen up. Once it's loose, remove it with care. Once it's out, try to keep debris from falling inside the engine. Now that we have it out, compare your new part to the old part to make sure the new one is compatible. As one of the documents I talked about earlier will say, there will be a slight shape change between the old aluminum one and the new one, but the thread portion should be roughly the same. These look practically identical, so let's install it. I like to put this in place and rotate it backwards until I can feel it drop into place. That way the threads are matched up nicely. Start putting it in by hand, and switch to the socket when you reach your limit. Make sure you immediately start using your torque wrench on this, because you need to torque this to 23 Newton meters or 17 foot-pounds, and again, over-tightening can crack the block, so check for updates to torque specs. These are tapered threads and will get real tight real quick. And again, over-tightening can crack the block, so check for updates to torque specs. Alright, we've installed the valve, now we just need to button everything up. If you have a new hose to install, that will be installed by pulling off the old one from the underside of the intake manifold. Install the hose by sliding it on. There are no hose clamps here. If you remove the air intake, put the hose back on the bottom section, remembering to attach that hose clamp in the proper place. Slide the intake tube into the throttle body. Make sure the hose clamp is present and the screw head is facing upward for easy service. Slide the air filter box back into place with the air filter present and not pinched out of its spot. Finally, reconnect the mass airflow sensor. Now you're ready to test start the engine to confirm you've installed it correctly. The most likely issue you'll run into is a vacuum leak if the PCV hose wasn't pushed on all the way. If you have any questions or tips on how to make the job go faster or easier, the comments section would be great for that. Thanks for watching Cars Simplified.